everyone, Vian from Mountain Road here, and today I've got a special review for you. If you are anything like me and you really enjoy being outside on your bike and just exploring the great outdoors, but at the same time you also want to make your budget work well for you, then this review is going to be especially for you. Today I've got a cool product here. I discovered this one recently by just doing a quick Google search. If you want to hear more about my journey in finding this wheel set, I'll link to my blog post below. Take a look at that. Quite a bit more information in that about how I actually set out to find this wheel set. But at the end of the day, it popped up on a simple Google search. Yeah, and you're going to be surprised about where I bought it from and what I paid for it. Want to take a guess? $299 from no other than Walmart. Yeah, that's right, Walmart. You wouldn't really associate buying a carbon wheel set from a retailer like Walmart. Keep on listening, watching this video to see if I bought something good or just another cheap pair of wheels that you could have bought from any no-name brand over the internet. Okay, so what makes this one so special? And I think, to start off, the retailer actually does matter. I mean, yeah, sure, it was Walmart, but what I found in my research before I bought this was, well, you know what? The wheel, even if it comes damaged or maybe broken in the shipment, buying it from Walmart gives me a slight advantage of buying it from, say, a normal bike store. Reason being, Walmart's got a pretty decent return policy, so should something be damaged, I can very easily return it, get some store credit, and you know what? Then I can even exchange it for anything I need for the house. Heck, you're never going to be able to exchange a carbon wheel set for, say, a vacuum cleaner for the house when you buy it from your regular bike store. So, something different in my approach when thinking about buying this wheel set. The second thing was actually the brand. So you might have gone on Amazon before and seen a lot of these unknown, just cheap wheel sets. You gotta ask the question in those instances, is it actually cheap or is it affordable? And there is a fine line between those two categorizations. Cheap is just gonna break 2-3 weeks into the use and money down the drain. Affordable, there's some real value. So I did some research. Searched for this brand, 11, found the company website, and the great thing about it is that they actually are based right here in the US. And so for me, that immediately gave me some confidence. If something had to go wrong with the wheel set, I wouldn't have to ship it off to China, Taiwan, or wherever the wheel was manufactured. I actually had a contact here locally. Email addresses, telephone numbers that I could reach out to should I have any problems. So that was kind of the second tipping point when thinking about this wheel set. And then the third, of course, was just a phenomenal price, $299, and that is marked down from the original listing price of $799. So maybe a little clever marketing there of putting up a higher price and then showing a significant discount, but I was actually willing to give it a go. And on the website for this company, they stated that this product, given the design and given the build, they'll say it's a 10, but given the price, they bump it up to 11. So I guess that's where the name comes from, the E11 even. Now, keep on watching. I'm gonna walk you through a couple of things on why I think this is actually a very decent wheel set. So for that price, $299, I mean, if you have to compare that to the high-end wheels on the market today, that is just night and day. In my budget, I wasn't going to spend $2,000 plus for one of those high-end carbon wheel sets. Not if it's something that I can't use on a regular basis. It just lies in the garage and you break it out for a couple of key races. That just wasn't going to fly with me. So when I bought this wheel set, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to put it through its paces. This is a wheel set that's going to live on my bike. I'm not going to take it off. Let's really put it through the challenges of regular everyday riding and see if it holds up. My logic yet again was, hey, if it breaks $300, I can buy 4 of these wheel sets for the price of one of the higher end wheel sets. So I was willing to give it a go, and today I'm going to report back on what I found, and I am actually very pleasantly surprised with this purchase. It's holding up very nicely. Alright, so a couple of cool things to note on this wheel set. It actually comes with, I'm going to hold it up a little closer, it comes with the DT Swiss hubs. Now, fairly unknown model in the DT Swiss 370 hubs that come on this wheel, but very decent quality. I have been riding this wheel set now for almost 1,000 kilometers, roughly around 600 miles or so, and it's holding up surprisingly well. I've even had a little bit of a tumble. I mean, I can even testify that at one of the recent rides that I did about a month or 2 ago, it's coming up on an intersection, chain dropped, I went crashing over my handlebars. These wheels were on the bike at the time, and they came off completely unscratched. So even a little bit of a crash test in there as well over the last few weeks to attest that they actually hold up to what they are supposed to do. So in the box, when these wheels ship, you get a nice little converter kit in there. You'll find some extra spokes, you'll find the correct brake pads to convert your regular rim brake bike over to the carbon wheel brakes, and also some really nice quick release skewers. And this has been something that I've used on my bike now for the last two months, and just really surprised. Let's take a look at how these wheels look on the bike and how they actually sound, feel and perform. Alright, so with this wheel set, you actually get a hub that is Shimano 10 or 11 speed compatible. I went ahead and fitted my 11 speed 105 cassette onto this wheel set, and I'm just going to cut straight to the very first thing a lot of you will have a question about, and that is, what sound does it make? I mean, what's the point in buying a carbon wheel set if there's not a really cool 3-hop sound? So if you're watching just for that, let's listen. Pretty nice. I like it. Alright, as for the rest of the wheels, they come in a little heavier. I've had a bit of a mixed result when it comes to finding the correct weight for these wheels. The Walmart website lists this as 1,800 grams, whereas when you go onto the company website themselves, that is going to tell you that it's 1,690 grams for the set. So a bit of a mixed bag of results there when you look at the weight. I haven't weighed them myself, so I can't give you an exact number on what this wheel set comes in at. So I've been riding these wheels now for about the last 2.5 months, and I think they lean a little bit more towards the heavy side. It's definitely something to get used to. Maybe if you haven't ridden on any of these carbon wheels in the past, like myself, I've been riding aluminium wheels all my cycling career for the last 20 years. So this is my first step into the carbon wheel set realm, and I had to get used to the fact that there's a little bit more of a momentum difference in riding these wheel sets. That being said, I am absolutely blown away at how well this wheel set has been performing. When you get used to riding with that slightly different momentum, I can definitely feel the aerodynamic benefit that comes with this one. And I mean, those two things alone, just from a look standpoint, and then also from just a bit more of an aerodynamic benefit that I get with riding these wheels, that alone has made it worthwhile. On top of that, I've also gone from what I used to have on my previous wheel set, a 23mm tire, to now a 25mm tire that I've been easily able to fit onto this wheel set, and also still doing a phenomenal job. I have truly been enjoying this wheel set. I have seen, in fact, a noticeable difference in my speed that I can attain on any regular group ride, or even just a ride by myself on this trusty old steed that I have here. But outright value for money, I can attest to that 100%. I've been pleasantly surprised. What I will say is, I think, you know, I'm a fairly light rider. Well, maybe average weight rider. I come in at about 72 kilograms, roughly around that 160 pound weight, and I think for me that is definitely a big considering factor when you look at buying this wheel set. If you're slightly heavier, you might want to steer away from it. I do see that there's a bit of a flex in these wheel sets. They're not completely stable like you would maybe find on some of the higher end, more pricey wheel sets, but I think that's to be expected. I think, as with anything in life, you get what you pay for. So for $299, I didn't really expect a heck of a lot, and I've just been completely blown away and surprised to the positive side at how well this wheel set has been holding up. Over my multiple rides that I've now done, as I said, you know, well over or close and roughly around to that 1,000 kilometer mark, it has held up very well. This wheel set now lives on my bike. I intend to ride it. I want to see how far I can push this. Maybe I can do an even longer term review on these wheels to really see how far you can push this until you truly get any real trouble or break on the wheel. The bike ships, or the wheel ships with extra few spokes, 3 extra spokes in the box. I haven't had to use any of those yet, so possibly in the future when I do run into some spoke issues, I've got 3 extra spokes that will come in handy in you know, fixing up any of the broken spokes. So from that standpoint, really good quality for money. I am super pleased with this purchase. I can highly recommend it to anybody out there. I think just be aware of the fact that you're not getting the best on the market. There's definitely a little bit more of a weight difference, and possibly not 100% as steady and stable as you would expect from like a regular high-end carbon wheel. But again, if you're a slightly lighter weight rider, then I don't foresee any real issues. I've been putting these wheels through quite a bit of testing. We have a trail here locally that I ride on, as well as on the open roads, and on the trail a little bit more bumpy, a few curbs that that you kind of go over in getting onto the trail and off the trail, and so far so good. Really surprised. The wheels have blown me away. So overall, from me, I can highly recommend this. If you want to stretch your budget a little bit, and you still want a decent set of wheels for your road bike, and you're in the market for carbon clinchers, rim brakes, this is the way to go. My little 2 cents. If you're interested in checking out this wheel set, follow the links below. Again, you're gonna be surprised. Walmart, $2.99, not too bad.